Good morning dear students. In our first video, we have learned about how to read the number, how to write down in the multiplication form and how to find the values. So we have taken the number in an index form, whereas 6 base and 4 is index. And when we are reading the number, how to read the number? 6 raised to 4. But now student, we are going to take a number where in the index there is a number 2. So when there is in the index the number is 2, there is a way to read, there are different way to read the number. One, if you read this way, then it is 6 raised to 2. Okay, that all of you are familiar with. It is also read as 6 squared. Now this is what the number is, squared. So for 2, the number which we are using is what? Square. Okay, or there is a one more number, the square of 6. So remember this word square when there is an index 2. Now let's take one more example. Now this time I am taking the index as a 3. So when 3 is the index, again we will read it this way, that is 6 raised to 3. There is a one way. The other way is that now this 3 it is called as cubed. So it is written as 6 cubed, or it's also written as the cube of 6. So student, when there is a 3 as an index, we are taking this word cube, and there is a 2 as an index, we are taking what? This word square. So just remember, whenever 2 is index, no need to read this way. Okay, this way also in a correct way, but mostly we are going to use this word squared. So 6 squared, or 5, if it is this way, so it is 5 squared. If it is this way, so we will say that 5 cubed, or the cube of 5. Okay, so student, I hope you understand what we have done. Now let's begin with today laws of indices. Now let's take the first law of indices. So in the first law of indices, let's take one example. Okay, how to read the number? 6 raised to 5 into means what? Multiplication. 6 raised to 5 multiplied by 6 cubed, or it is also written as a cube of 6. Okay. Just now in the first part of this lesson we have learned 6 raised to 5 means what? We are writing 6 for how many times? 5 times. Multiplication form. So let's write down that in a multiplication form. Count so that you have written for 5 times. Now multiply, and we are taking this 6 raised to 3. 6 how many times we are taking? 3 times. So that you write down 3 times. Okay. Now just count how many 6 are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many times? 8. So that we are writing in index form 6, 8 times. No? So that we are writing this way. So I will write it down once again. 6 raised to 5 into 6 raised to 3 is equal to 6 raised to 8. Now student, just compare this index. Here 5, here 3, here 8. Can you find some relationship between them? Yes, of course there is a relationship. What is that? If you add 5 plus 3, what is the answer we are going to get? 8. So student, here we are getting the first law. The first law of indices. First law. And what is that first law? Now, in that case, if you observe, the base is same. What is that base? 6. So for a common base, we will take it as a A. Okay, what we will take? A. And is a different index, so that will take a M. Okay, I repeat once again. For common index, a base we are taking A, and common index, different index, so that is M and N. So we are going to get the answer here. When the bases are same and the index are different, we are going to get the answer A raised to M plus N. I hope you understand. Just compare. When you're comparing the index, you will understand. 5 plus 3 it is 8. Okay, so based on this first law of indices, we are going to take our next practice set. Okay, so here in this case, it is applicable when the bases are same, but the index are different. And when we are multiplying this, we have to add the what? Add the index. So basis of that, here we got the first law, a raised to m multiplied by a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. So here is the first law of indices. So now based on this, let's start with a practice set. So student, let's start with the practice set 27. So this practice set 27 is based on the first law of indices. So student, before you will start practice set 27, you have to write this practice set in the notebook itself. So before that, in the notebook, just write down the first law. Okay, neatly you write down this first law, a raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n, where this a is a rational number. Rational number means it is possibility that this base will be even negative or it is maybe a fraction. Okay, so a is a rational number, whereas m and n are any positive integers. Compulsory the index are positive, they should not be a negative one. So now based on that, let's start with a first practice set 27. So as I told you, no need to solve the way I showed when I saw the way I solved earlier. No, you have to write the answer directly. Here the bases, you have to check that the bases are same, equal. So bases are same. What is their base? 7. And what are the index? 4 and 2. So we are going to add the index 4 plus 2. And then we are going to get the answer 7 raised to 6. You will ask, teacher, this step is compulsory? No, this step is not compulsory at all. But if you not wrote it, or even if you written it, doesn't matter. Now let's take the second example. Here now again the bases are same. What is the basis? 11. And what are the index? 5. So just add the index. So we are going to get the answer negative 11 raised to 7. Now let's take the next one. Here we will do it directly. Okay, you can do it even in the 2-step or you can do it directly also. What is the base over here? Negative 3 upon 2. Here, student, don't forget to put this negative sign. So negative 3 upon 2. And what are the index? 5 and 3. So what the answer will get? Yes, it is 8. Let's take the last one. A raised to 16 into a raised to 7. Tell me the answer, student. A raised to, yes, it is 23. Okay, so student, based on that, whatever is the sums remain now, that you will take, that you do it yourself. Just you have to add the index. Student, take the second law of indices. So here in this case, just read this what I have written. 6 raised to 5 divided by 6 raised to 3. Now divide means that we will also write down in a fractional form. So let's write down that first in the fractional form. 6 raised to 5 upon 6 raised to 3. Okay. Now write down in the multiplication form. So 6 write down how many times? 5 times. Okay. So it is 5 times. And now 6 cube, that you write down how many times? 3 times. Okay. So that we are writing how many times? 3 times. Now in the next step, you know student, from the numerator, now on the top means it is numerator and here it is denominator. If the numbers are same, we will even cancel the number. So here we'll cancel how many 6? Yeah, we'll cancel 3 6. This 6, cancel, cancel. So how many 6 remain now? 2. Just write down that. How many 6 remain? 6, 2. So if I want to write down in the index form, how I will write? 6 and what is the index? Yeah, it is 2. 6 square. So I will write down this once again. 6 raised to 5 divided by 6 raised to 3 is equal to 6 raised to 6 squared. So again compare the index, student. Here is 5, here is 3, here is 2. Is there any relationship between this 3 in the index 5, 3 and 2? Yes, if you observe 5 minus 3 we are going to get the answer 2. So student, here we got the second index, second law of indices. Again now the bases are same. Bases are same and we have to divide the base. Index are different. That index we are going to take m and n. I repeat once again, the bases are same but the index are different and we are going to divide that. At that time we are going to subtract the index. I hope you understand, student, what we learned in the first law, multiplication and the relationship with the addition. And here it is division and the relationship is with a subtraction. So student, here we got the second law of indices, that is a raised to m divided by a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n. Okay. Okay, now student, I'll show you one more thing. Suppose I'm taking the 7 raised to 3 divided by 7 raised to 3. So if I apply this law, we'll just take it in the multiplication form. Okay, all the 3 from the numerator and denominator just cancel. So when nothing is there in the numerator and denominator, what is the answer we are going to get? Yes, we are going to get the answer 1. So student, here we are going to get one more law of indices. Suppose we apply, if we have not done this and we have used directly the law of indices, here in this case, so what we are doing? 7. Okay, so answer common base and index difference, so that we are going to do it for subtraction, right? So 3 minus 3, we are going to get the answer 0. So always remember, any number which is raised to 0, so we are going to get the answer 1. So here we will get one more law of indices. If we'll take a third law here, okay, so what is that law? A, which is raised to 0, any number, any base, any rational number, basically positive, negative, fraction, anything which is raised to 0, so we are going to get the answer 1. Okay, so student, I hope you understand a very easy law of indices, and which we are going to use for the next practice set, that any rational number base which raised to 0, index is 0, so we are going to get the answer 1. Next concept, which is again related to the next practice set. Suppose this time the example 7 raised to 6 divided by 7 raised to 8. So according to the second law of indices, what will be the situation? Basis, common base, so we are writing 7, whereas the index, so first index take first and second index take it later on. We are going to subtract it. 6 minus 8. So what is the answer we are going to get? Tell me. 6 minus 8. Yes, it is negative 2. It is not a positive 2. Here only most of the students are doing mistake, that we are directly writing 2 over here, but 8 is the having negative number, so you are going to get the answer negative 2. But student, if you remember, I told you many a time that index, there is no possibility that index will be a negative number. It shall be a positive. So when we need the index to be a positive, we will shift this in the denominator. Now it is in the numerator. We have to shift in the denominator. How will shift in the denominator? 1 upon 7 square. So when we will shift in the denominator, this positive will go, negative will goes to positive. So here again one more law, that if anything the index is negative, that time it is goes to denominator and it's turned to negative to positive. Okay student, I hope you understand. So we are going to use this all terms, second law, third law, and even this term which is related to the second law itself, that we are going to use for our next practice set. Okay, so let's start. Okay student, let's start with practice set 28. Question number 1, simplify. Again, before you will start this practice set, better write down all this thing, second law plus even this, and even write down this. Okay, write down this in the notebook and then you have to copy practice set 28. So let's start now. Here you will see the base with base same and the index are different, and we are going to divide the base. So we are going to use the second law. What we are doing, write the common base, that is A, and what is the index here? 6 minus 4. So 6 minus 4, so what is the answer? Yes, your answer is 4. If the index is positive, then we don't have to do it anything. Now let's take this third question. Again use this law of indices. Common base is P, index are different, 3 minus 13. Okay. Now tell me, 3 minus 13 means how much? What is the answer? Yes, it is negative 10. Okay, 13 is a number with a bigger number with a negative sign. So answer is also negative. So here we are going to use this law of indices, where if suppose the index is a negative number, you have to shift that into the denominator. So here final answer we are going to get 1 p raised to 10. Okay student, I hope you understand how to do it. So there are 2 more sums in the first question simplify. So that you have to complete it. Now here we are going to see now there is one more question 2 in practice set 28, and that is second find the value. So the same question we have done even in the practice set 26 to find the value. So here also we are going to do the same thing, but first we are going to use law of indices and then we'll find the value. Let's take the first one. Negative 7 raised to 12 and negative 7 raised to 12. Okay, so let's use the law of indices over here. Second law of indices. So common base. What is common base? Negative 7. And different here, basically the index are also same, but according to the law of indices, we are going to subtract the index. So here we'll get the answer negative 7. 12 minus 12, 0. Here what I told you, anything, any rational number, not necessarily the positive, here negative or fraction, whatever, it is raised to 0. So what is the answer? 1. So same way here, negative 7 raised to 0. So what is the answer we are going to get? Yes, here we are going to get the answer 1. Okay, student. Let's take one more question from this practice set. Let's take the third one. Okay, student, let's use the law of indices base. Check that the bases are same. Huh? So base here it is same, index are different. So let's take 4 upon 5. Same index, different index, subtract it. So we are going to get the answer 4 upon 5. 3 minus 2, 1. So tell me what is the value of this particular index form? Yes, it is 4 upon 5 itself because we are writing it one time. So what is the answer we are going to get? The same answer we are going to get. Okay, use the law of indices over here. 4 and here it is 7 minus 5. 7 minus 5, what is the answer? 2. Means square, 4 square. Means we are writing 4 for how many times? 4 into 4. So what is the answer here, student? 16. Okay, student, I hope you understand. So whatever is the remain here in this practice set, please complete it. Thank you.